Hey guys, welcome back to the Circleville YouTube channel. It's an exciting day today because we are talking hose clamps. More specifically, I want to talk about ear clamps and these ear clamp pliers from Knipex. You can see they are number 1098I220. Of course, made in Germany like all Knipex tools. Which, anyone who knows tools knows, fantastic brand, outstanding, tremendous. I actually had a deal for these posted on my website about a couple of weeks ago, and I think the deal is still available, so of course I will put a link down below to that for anyone who is interested in picking up the ear clamp pliers. Now I have in front of you 3 different styles of clamps that I'm sure you're all familiar with, and these are probably the most common clamps you'll find in automotive stuff and, you know, general household clampetry. I think I'm making up words now. So probably the most common, especially amongst DIYers. If you have to replace a hose clamp on your car, I bet you have a bunch of these and you've used it a ton of times. It's the most common probably because you don't need any specialty tools, just need a screwdriver. You can tighten that baby down. The problem is, of the 3, it's probably the worst, probably the most likely to fail. They're just not great. They're not the best option when we have these other ones. Now, I've probably also seen these spring band clamps, which is another one that requires a specialty tool. Probably see a lot of these around fuel lines and such. And they're an alright option, but what I want to talk about, what I think is your best option, is the ear clamp. If we take a look at it, what happens with the ear clamp pliers is they're going to grab the top of this thing. Let me hold it in a better way. So you can see the pliers grab the ear, the top, like so, and when you squeeze, it's going to pinch these 2 ends closer together, which makes the circle smaller, obviously. And you can see the inside band is going to go through that little slot as it gets tightened and the diameter gets smaller. So I do want to check what the inner diameter is now, and then after we squeeze it, how much we shrunk it. It's not the easiest to get everything in the camera right now, but the inner diameter before we have squeezed it is 0.725. Now we're going to clamp this thing down and see what we have afterwards. You got to give it a little bit of a squeeze here. You got to squeeze it like you got a pair. You can see how the inner piece is sliding in, making it smaller. There we go. We are squeezed. Now normally you're not going to go that much because you're going to be clamping onto something, but the end result and now our inner diameter is down to 0.531. Now the thing is with these ear clamps is it's a permanent solution. So if you have a temporary problem, the screw clamp might be better for you because this can only be used once. You're going to be cutting it off or in some way taking it off if you ever need to take that hose back off. But it being a permanent solution is nice if you want it to be permanent. You don't want it falling off while you're going down the road. So if you wanted to take these off, this little tab is what's holding everything together. So you can pry it back or pry this up with. Now I have a little set of these ear clamps here, but they come in a huge variety of sizes. You'll even see these on like boots for CV joints, which is obviously much larger. I'll also link down below to a set of these ear clamps. You want to make sure you get decent ones because cheap ones, it doesn't matter how great your tool is, if the clamp you're using is garbage, it's not going to work out well for you. Now one other thing specifically about the Knipex is they have 2 versions. The other version allows you to pinch from the side, so if you're in a smaller spot, if you remember when we clamped down on this a second ago, we grabbed it like this and you have to have a pretty good opening to get this clamped on. But they have another version where you can come in from the side. So if it's a tighter spot or an awkward area, you can do that also. So I'll link to that version down below if you need the little extra bit of functionality. And because if you ever need to take this off, you're going to need to pry on that little spot there. Keep that in mind if you have an option when putting this clamp on to put it in a position where you can still reach that little tab. Just something to keep an eye on. Now, we're going to actually clamp this onto something. I got this clear hose because I was hoping we'll be able to see a little bit better of what it's doing. And don't pay attention to what I'm clamping. I know this ain't what it's for, but it's demonstration purposes. So we got to find a clamp that is the right size. That one's too small. That one's too small. Looks like this porridge is just right. So here we go one more time. Let's see if we can get an angle you guys can see. I was hoping you could see the squeeze of the hose itself. Come on, squeeze it like you got a pair. Now see the indent on that? If we can get an angle where you can really see it. You can see how it's smushed in there and then flares out here because that is tight. There ain't no way. I don't care how much of a man you think you are. You're not pulling that off. That's stuck, man. That is a perfect tight fit, and it looks a hell of a lot better than one of these screw clamps. Cleaner finish, more professional. Makes it look like you know what you're doing. Now I got a bolt on the other side. So let's go through another one of these. I'm going to have to buy a whole nother set of clamps just for this video. Okay. Let's try it farther down on this one, see if it gives us any different view. This is where you got to grow a pair. And there you go. Fantastic tool. Look at taking one of these off real quick. You just need to get up under there and pry up so we can use our pliers. Get underneath there. You can see that. And just pry it up. Again, they're one-time use clamps. You're going to destroy it when you take it off, but they're really not that bad to take off. And something like this, if you're going to go with specialty clamps, make sure you get a good tool. You don't want the damn cheap China-made tools, man. They're just not going to work for you. Probably going to break the first time you try. This is going to last as long as you do. It's probably going to last longer. You're going to be giving this tool to your kids. Thanks for watching, guys. Give the video a like, subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I'll see you guys next time.